Hey everyone, welcome back to Tuckaway Pints. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie and my fiance and I moved up from Milwaukee with his parents to the great north woods of Wisconsin on 10 beautiful acres where we are growing our own food, preserving our own food, learning and using tons of new skills to use the resources here around us and to live off the land and be a little more self-reliant. Now in today's video, I want to show you guys how our garden is growing, how everything is doing, and what we are growing, of course. And I do have a few things that are ready to be harvested, so I figured I'd bring you guys along with me while I go do that. So let's go check it out. So here we are in the main crop garden. Very beautiful. We actually just finished weeding, so everything looks really nice in here for you guys. But we do have plenty of different things growing in here, as you can see behind me. And I will turn the camera around and give you a nice grand tour of everything and give you guys a more close-up look as to how everything is growing. So I'm going to turn everything around and start at the beginning, and we'll work our way back. Okay, we are walking into the garden, and as you can see here, I have two trellises set up on either side of my gate, and this is where I have a variety of peas growing. So you can see one side is growing a lot taller than the other side, and this is why I like to plant a couple different varieties of the same vegetable or fruit, because one might do better than the other. As you can see here, these are growing very well up my trellis and definitely need to start harvesting some of these guys. And if anyone is curious, this variety is the Wando pea. So first time I'm growing this actually, and so far so good, so we might have to make it a regular. Here is a green arrow variety pea. And this is actually doing pretty well here. I have this growing behind the Wando peas. The trellis that I have here is actually some old sunflower stalks that I saved from last season and made a nice little teepee with some twine that I had. So check that video out if you're curious. I will link that above for you. And you can see just beyond the peas, I have another sunflower trellis of cucumbers climbing right up. And those are actually doing really good. I do have plenty of blossoms, and I'll show you guys those momentarily. But I did want to show you guys this tall, beautiful, mysterious lettuce plant that is growing here in my garden. Did not plant it. It is a volunteer, and it will need to get harvested here. It's starting to produce some flowers on top. So I figured maybe take this sucker out now. So behind me here is my tomato forest. As you can see, the tomatoes do make themselves quite at home. I have quite a few different varieties growing in here, all various in sizes and colors, because if you've been following us for a while, you know that I am a sucker for off-the-wall color vegetables and trying to grow them. So there's quite a few in there. I think there's a couple purple tomatoes and some yellow ones, of course. So are all in their tomato cages and just thriving, absolutely. I do have some tomatoes coming in. None of them are quite ripe yet, but they are fruiting. So that is a wonderful sight to see, because we definitely love to make our own sauces and ketchups. Here are some more of my cucumbers. They are just set behind the tomato plants. I have a couple spare trellises that I had on hand for these guys. They're going to be growing nicely so far. And like I said, there are tons and tons of blossoms. So we will definitely have plenty of pickles this season. Super excited. So right here I have my red potatoes growing. I only had a certain amount of grow bags, which is what this one in the back here is growing from. And it is doing absolutely well. And then I had to use some buckets that I had on hand. I did drill some holes in the bottom for drainage and such. But as you can tell the difference, this is still quite green. And then this one is, you know, pretty much fizzled out. And we did have two other plastic buckets, of course, of red potatoes. We did get a good yield from those buckets, about a pound each, and I'll show you guys at harvest too. But so yeah, we'll be probably harvesting from here once everything fully fizzles out. There is some green, so you know there's still brewing down there, and I don't want to disturb them too much, but I think we'll get some good sized red potatoes, little baby reds if you will, which we don't mind. Those are actually very delicious here. And I also have another variety down the way here of russet potatoes. They are doing phenomenal in the grow bag. And I did do a video where I grew potatoes in the grow bags, plastic buckets, and a metal bucket, and to compare the yields and the whole growing of the potatoes in each style bucket. So if you are curious on the outcome of that, go check that video out, and I'll have that linked above as well too. But yeah, so we're gonna be harvesting potatoes here soon again. So this little section behind me here is a little hodgepodge of gourds, a couple different varieties of pumpkins, such as jack-o'-lantern. I do have a few ugly pumpkins planted in here and a couple sugar pie pumpkin plants because I love, you know, baking with pumpkin puree in the fall time and things like that. So super excited. Hopefully those produce well for me again this year. And this wild plant here is a beautiful sunflower, and actually this one is a volunteer. I do have quite a few planted that I started from seed mixed in here with the pumpkins. They coexist very nicely. They don't interrupt each other. They're not in each other's way whatsoever. So I figured they would mingle nicely together. So we made it to the other row of potatoes in the grow bags, and you can see how beautiful, full, and green they are. Absolutely doing wonderful in those grow bags. Can't say enough about them. So, and then on this side of me, we have our little patch of corn. We've had a couple different varieties of corn growing in here. I kind of have them growing in rows, but they're still all mixed within each other in a block style planting. And they are doing very good. The term I like to say is knee-high by July, and we are definitely at that point. And we noticed while weeding we have a couple volunteer tomato plants, because last year I had my tomatoes over here in this section. I do try to rotate my crops within the garden here just to help with nutrition balance. So, and then if I pan over just a little bit, we have our late season potatoes. Again, ran out of grow bags, so we had to opt for buckets. But so far these guys are actually growing really, really well. Just have to ensure that they have ample drainage, especially without the material of a grow bag. They do need a little extra drainage to help with air pruning and, of course, the proper drainage so they're not rotting in there with too much moisture. So, and if I continue panning over, I have my wonderful green stalk. I absolutely love this thing. It is a vertical tiered garden with several pockets all the way around. And I do have it on a little spinner here, so that way I can rotate it each day. I come out here and rotate it 180 so every side can get the proper amount of sunlight. But here I have a variety of different herbs planted, such as dill, sage, marjoram, basil. I have my chives, and I think I have a couple parsley sprinkled within that as well. So, and green onions at the very top too. So yes, and I do have a few herbs I can start harvesting from in here, so I'll be kind of trimming things up a little bit. Okay, so on the other side of our garden here, I have my green beans planted within my cabbage. I have a variety of cabbage right in the back, but technically that is the front. That's where they will get the most sun, and they won't be outshaded by the beans. So the beans will be kind of behind the cabbage, so nothing will impede each other or shade each other out. So, but I do have a couple different varieties of beans here. I also have some like navy beans and lima beans that I do hope that they'll make it so I can just dry them out. We'll see. I haven't had the best luck in the past with them, but I'm still trying. And of course the green beans are doing fantastic. I actually have to harvest a few of those coming up today. And yeah, the cabbage is doing very well. It just takes its time, but I'm hoping this fall we'll have plenty of cabbage to start making some homemade sauerkraut. And if you want to see how we make our own sauerkraut, check out this video above and we'll walk you through the whole process. It is absolutely so easy. You can literally forget about it for months and you'll eventually have sauerkraut. So in this next section, I have quite a few different plants growing within each other. You will see a couple different varieties of cabbages. I do have the red and green cabbage. I also have some broccoli growing along the front row closest to the fencing. Some of them actually need to get harvested now that I take a closer look. And again, I do have some more sunflowers. I had so many sunflowers from seed, I just decided to plant them all over the garden. Hopefully, you know, they'll make it to flowering and we'll have beautiful sunflowers sprinkled about. But then here closest to us, we have a variety of peppers growing, some bell peppers, and those are actually looking pretty good. Maybe some of them could get pulled, which is surprising because I haven't had the best luck with peppers in my climate in the past few years, so. And then over here I have some celery growing. I kind of ran out of space and forgot about the celery that I had growing, so I just kind of plopped them here. This was an open spot and I think they will do just fine. The cabbage shouldn't overshroud them too much. So I'm hoping for the best. They do take their time, so we'll see how they work out. And for our final section of the garden, we have a variety of cauliflower plants growing. They're growing, I can say that at least. They are definitely taking their sweet time. I'm not holding my breath on these guys. It was kind of touch and go with them from the beginning, so we'll see what happens as the season progresses. But this guy here next to the trellis, that is a jalapeno plant and is doing fantastic. I have already harvested a few jalapenos from it, just about 2 or 3. It does look like there is one more that is ready to get harvested today, so probably go in and get that guy too. Like I said, peppers have been kind of tricky to grow in our climate, so I'm very, very happy and surprised that they're doing so well. We have also this cayenne pepper plant here doing wonderfully. You can tell I have a few that I need to pick, and I've already picked probably a handful's worth already, so very happy with that because we like to have that on hand. I like to dry them out and keep it as cayenne powder, not only for culinary purposes but for medicinal purposes as well. And then the champion of them all is this wonderfully tall, robust sunflower plant. And mind you, this one is a volunteer. This one took the place of the volunteer we had last year. I can link the video above too of how our garden last year turned out. But you can see this guy is just growing wonderfully, and I anticipate seeing flowers very, very soon. That's what I have going on in the garden this year. We do have a little side garden. I did anticipate that being my root garden this year. I had some turnips, rutabagas, carrots, and I did have some lettuces growing in there. Well, planted in there, I should say. Nothing really necessarily took. Maybe a few carrots I have growing in there right now. And I also have a few oak leaf lettuce bunches that are growing as well. Probably harvest the lettuce today. It's looking pretty good, pretty vibrant, pretty full. And I am going to let the carrots just kind of go do their thing, see how big they actually get. But again, it's not really anything worth showing, honestly. Just very sparse. So, but I do hope to grow some garlic over the winter here for next season. Something I'm really trying to work on, or it's really something I'm trying to put together and give it a shot. Never grown garlic before, So, and I do plan, of course, bringing you guys along with me during that project. And I'm thinking that that little side root garden will be my garlic patch for the winter. So I do have about a couple months yet before all that is, you know, starts rolling, but definitely stay tuned for that project because I am actually really excited to see if I can start growing some garlic because we love our garlic, not only for culinary uses, but it has great medicinal purposes too. So super excited. So definitely stay tuned for that. And we just got done with our strawberry season. We probably pulled about 16 pounds from there, if not more, give or take. So I'm super thrilled about that. Check out that video where I make my strawberry jam and talk to you about how just successful our strawberry season was this year. And it gives you a little more closer look of our strawberry patch too. So check that out as well. But that is pretty much all I have for you guys as far as the plants are going. Otherwise, we've just been kind of, you know, doing the day-to-day stuff, going to work every day. We do work full-time jobs, so we're trying to run a little homestead here on top of it. So very busy, and I try to bring you guys along when I can. And as you can see, just trying to produce tons of compost, cleaning up the property, maintaining everything. So not easy, but it's definitely worth it. So again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. And don't forget to hit that like, leave me a comment if you have anything, any questions whatsoever. Love to start a conversation with you guys. And definitely don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all sorts of harvesting videos, planting videos, that garlic video, and anything else we do here on the homestead. So, thanks again. Bye.